All right. Yeah. All right. All right. All right. So, good evening. Welcome to TGI Friday. Thank God it's Friday, and thank God it's the weekend, and thank God for this beautiful weather. What's going on, guys? Welcome, my virtual audience. Welcome to FaceTime with Todd Wharton. I am your host, as always, Todd Wharton. Hope everybody's doing great. Hope everybody's doing well. And I am definitely excited about this show tonight. We have an amazing woman that's going to be coming on a little bit. And I think most people definitely know who this lady is, so I'm hoping to chop it up with her in a bit. But in the meantime, let's talk about a little something something. So I'm coming up the elevator, and I happen to bump into my guy who works here at the Lounge Studios. And I said, "What's going on, man?" And he's like, "Oh, man, I'm so tired. Uh, I've been working 8, 9 hours, 6 days a week." And I'm like, "Okay." And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "I haven't been home in like 5 days." And I'm like, "So where are you crashing?" And he's pretty much like, "Oh, man, I've been crashing at my girl's house." So I'm like, "So let me get this straight. You have a job, you're making money doing what you love, and you're actually crashing at a beautiful woman's house. You ever just want to smack somebody upside the head?" It's like, are you kidding me? It's like, bro, it's like I have a job, but I'm alone every day, and pretty much my dating situation is Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Hulu. And if I forget to pay my subscription, that pretty much feels like somebody just broke up with me. See, I'm looking at him like, man, you have a job and you get to go home to a beautiful woman? Man, fellas, anybody who has the same attitude, tell your woman to give me the call, because like I was telling DJ Diamond, I'm that brother who's behind the little fire, emergency glass. Yo, in case of emergencies, break open glass and I'll be right over. I'm just saying right now. So fellas, you guys are crazy. Speaking of crazy, crazy excited, I have an amazing, amazing woman tonight who's coming on the show. I'm excited to chop it up with her. And if you guys don't know, this is who we got to be chopping it up with tonight. This lady is a singer, songwriter, actress, record producer, a 3-time Grammy Award nominee, and a two-time Soul Train lady of the Soul Awards. She's also a member of the legendary hip-hop group, The Sequence. And we're about to bring this young lady right on, and we're about to get fire up in here. So, guys, I want you guys to give a warm welcome to my girl and a beautiful woman in the music industry, and I can't wait to talk to her. Let's please welcome the legendary, the beautiful, looking better than me, Angie.
Nah, boy.
Doing?
How are you?
I am good. I am good. You are looking lovely as
Thank
always.
you. Thank you with my James Brown afro here. How's
It's kind of
everything
funny.
going?
I did a skit with James Brown about a year ago. We're gonna redo it, where it's pretty much called "It's a Man's World," but it don't mean
Okay.
nothing. But it don't mean nothing without a prenup.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Now, you better get a prenup these days. Ask me how much.
So Angie, welcome to FaceTime with Todd Wharton. It's an honor to have
Thank
you
you.
on.
Thank
It
you so
really is.
thank you
Yeah,
so
and it's Ladies Month.
much. I'm sorry.
It's Ladies Month.
Yes, always. It's Ladies' Day. Every day is Ladies' Day.
Yeah, and it's a shame. It's a shame that we have to create months and holidays to celebrate what we should be celebrating every single day. If you really think about
Absolutely.
that, right? Ladies Month, Black History Month, man, Black History should be celebrated every single day because half the
Every
greatness
day.
out there in the
Every
world,
day.
yeah.
Absolutely. I
I
agree
mean,
with you.
I don't even want a birthday. I should be celebrated every day.
Every day. Every day you got breath in your body, you should be celebrating.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right. So we're gonna chop it up real tonight.
Absolutely.
Real
Absolutely.
tonight. So first of all, I want to personally congratulate you on such a phenomenal career. Um,
Thank you.
You do a lot of things that a lot of artists don't do. Not only were you a part of a great group with Blondie and Cheryl, which you're still a part of now, you
Yes,
created an amazing solo career. Most
yes.
people can't say to do that.
Well, you know what? I think for me, early on in my career, I always knew I wanted to expand as an artist. So I remember asking Sylvia Robinson, Miss Robinson, do you mind if I sing on this track?
Hmm.
And she didn't care as long as we got the rap done. So when we started, hey, you sitting over there, you know what I mean? It was my gateway into saying, hey guys, I don't just rap, I sing too. And
Right.
Cheryl as well sang. So what we did was actually ushered in R&B fusing with hip hop or rap, so to speak. You know, because they want to label us a rap group, but I mean, whatever. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, it's what we all do. And as far as I'm concerned, we had a lot to do with how the expansion of hip hop lasted this long, and that was because we infused funk, soul, R&B, however y'all want to slice it or call it and dice it up. It was something that we initiated in the game very early.
Hmm. Yeah, and I agree with you. If people don't know, one of the great songs that have been remastered twice was the song "Funk You Up," where Dr. Dre used it and "Keep Your Head Ringing," and then it
Yeah,
went to Bruno Mars, "Uptown Funk."
yeah,
Right? A lot of
but
people don't know. And when I was speaking to Cheryl, I'm like, you know, it'd be really cool, and I'll put it out there because I think an award show should do this. They should put the sequence, Dr. Dre, and Bruno Mars on one stage to show the elevation of a song that lasted a lifetime. Never been done before.
never been done before, and I think that's awesome. You know, it it it, it is sad that it is so overlooked, and it's intentionally overlooked.
Mhm.
And the generations of today are being blindsided with what is said to be the birth of hip hop. I mean, the culture of hip hop, as one would say, is okay, it's all these elements. Okay, if you got 50, 11 people in one community doing the same thing, then all y'all are infectious to one another. But when you got three little girls from way down south doing something similar that will kick the doors in and say, hey, we matter over here. You cannot ignore the fact that our contribution was relevant, very necessary, and still to this day had an influence on the game of hip hop. I don't care what, you know, your particular neighborhood or culture created. What about what we created for the world? And I just think that we are overlooked. We are swept under the rug. We are never mentioned, even by our own home label, which was Sugar Hill Records. I'm very disappointed in the fact that they don't include the sequence, and I'm saying it because I pray that they're listening. When the sequence was single-handedly responsible for Eighth Wonder, Apache, along with the West Street's Mob sound. Let's
Right.
Dance, I Know You Got the Fever, which was the biggest song that the West Street Mob did, was a part of the work that we created. Cheryl and I sang on that song, and it was played on Def Comedy Jam. I mean, you can't go anywhere without hearing a sequence song somewhere. I mean, Old Dirty Bastard did it. You turn around, Dr. Dre did it, and it's like, that's not hip hop. Okay, if that's not hip hop, then what is? Um, the first movie, Wild Style, I was behind the scenes on
Right.
a lot of that with Five Five Freddy. When they were creating originally, Charlie Ahern wanted to do the Funky 4+1 story.
Yep.
The group split up, and he continued to move on with the group Double Trouble. At the time, I was involved with Lil Rodney. See, we hadn't gotten married yet, but we were together, and I got to work single-handedly on that movie and was featured in a few of the clips. And just, you know, getting my feet wet with producing and developing and creating is where I am today with, you know, creating television shows and all kind of sizzle reels and behind the scenes. A lot of people don't know that's my voice on the Girlfriend show, which has been a phenomenon. I mean, and it goes on and on, but you know, what's not hip hop about the evolution of the hip hop culture expanding into singing and dancing, which is another thing we introduced to the movie. We brought dancers. I particularly brought some dancers and taught them dance steps, and henceforth dance in the birth of hip hop, not break dancing. When we did the
Right.
pop lock, and that was something that we introduced in Wild Style that became a craze. The next thing I know, I saw LL Cool J with 5011 dancers and MC Hammer with 5011 dancers doing
Mhm.
jingling, baby. Go ahead, baby. So I'm like, okay, it rubs off on people. Give us
Oh
our
yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. And I wanted to go back to what you were saying about the sequence too. And I kind of created some theories on why this is happening. Maybe you can critique it or agree or not agree. When you
okay.
guys started in the 70s, um, now women empowerment is huge, and it's proven that women can do or be better than men, right? And it
Mhm.
should have never been a challenge ever, because I
Right.
always talk about people with civil rights, human rights, should be equal from day one. If anything, men should take a back seat because we're still trying to get our rib back. That's what I'm trying to say. You guys stole my rib. I can't even have a barbecue now until I get that back. It's horrible. But in the 70s, a lot of the producers and managers were predominantly men. And I think one of the biggest decisions that were being made, I think, is because of what men thought what should have been seen in hip hop, R&B, whatever. And I think, and this has to do with publicists, managers who have the power to market the groups properly. And I think because the sequence didn't have a long career, they decided during their time that they were looking at you guys more as backups instead of the frontliners because you were women. And I think that was a huge problem back then,
Mhm.
even in some of the other groups, right? So today, as we're speaking right now, you have people right now on EPMD is on here and the whole nine. It's time that guys who have power and women who have power to start stepping up and start recognize who are the true beginners of music. And if you do that, I would love to see Sequence back on the Soul Train Awards, on the NCAACP Awards. I keep saying NCAA, I don't know why. And it's like, I think it should be said. I think it's not knocking Salt and Pepper or any other great groups because I'm a big fan of the original Spinderella. I love it to death.
Absolutely.
But a lot of these women get the back roads because somewhere along the lines, marketing decided not to promote the women and say they're relevant. But now, listen, Angie, you have a voice, not just singing wise. You have a voice now, and you get the
Yeah.
connections now. You have the power now to be like,
Well,
you know what? Funk that.
you
We're
mother.
about to funk you up. FUNK. I'm just saying.
Well, let me just say, you're absolutely right. I think that because it was a male dominated game back in the day, um, when we came, we were three girls from way down south, and I think that we were so funky. Gotta remember, Parliament Funkadelic was out. In the South, we were funk geared. So, we were when we started touring, and this is just to show you how before our time we were. There were no rap groups on tour. I mean, the only other rap group that toured with us was the Sugar Hill Gang. Our first tour was with the OJs and the Jones Girls, and we standing up there doing "Funk You Up" and tearing the house down with one song. I love you too, guys. Um,
Hmm.
Also, we Confunction, the Barcades, uh, Charlie Wilson, and the Gap Band. These were people that we were on tour with, and all we had to do was fly in and do "Funk You Right On Up," "Tear the Roof Off the Mother." These were rap songs. But the ability to sing is what kept us leveraged with them because we're like, all right, y'all can sing, well, we're going to show you something. We can sing too. And as a result, we were welcomed. They wanted to be a part of that. So by the time some of the New York rappers had integrated into Sugar Hill Records, we had been on tour 2 or 3 tours by then. And by the time the genius Sylvia Robinson, and I call it that because she single-handedly, as a woman, decided this should not just be in the streets of New York. This thing can be global. I'm really offended when people think that, oh, she stole this. No, she was smarter than a fifth grader. And what she did was said, this thing can be bigger than life. And she took a chance and went out there on a limb and put that music out before the world when all the other artists were stuck in New York doing it just for the community. And as a result, she went out and she said, I'm going to do this for the world. You can't hate the player. You got to hate the game because it's a dog-eat-dog business. And what happened is she got out there and she capitalized on what she knew would be great. Her kids were the same age as these kids that were doing it. Now, let me clear up one thing. I'm a super duper fan of Queen Latifah, Sha Rock, MC Light, Salt and Pepper. You name it, if you're a female and you was making waves, even if you wasn't making waves, I'm down like 4 flats for you because you kept the legacy alive. What I'm opposed to feeling is right now saying, I'm offended by the fact that you don't give us the same credit because no matter how great or small the contribution, it was the greatest contribution of all because it opened the doors for everyone. And I just feel like nobody gives two rat's tails about how we feel. We have grandchildren, we have nieces, we have nephews. Both my parents have passed on, and they never got to see what the real deal was. And my mother left here saying, I just feel bad because you guys never get your props. No one's mother should have to see that after they've sacrificed their child. When I say sacrifice, don't get me Illuminati wrong. Let me tell you straight up, we ain't into none of that. But I can say, when I say I walked out of high school and my mother said, I'm going to let you go because I believe in you, and gave us the opportunity. Cheryl's mother said, I believe in you. Blondie's mother said, go out there, do your best. And we did that. We won. And as a result, we get spit on right now. They don't mention us. They don't even breathe our names. And it's like, how can you skip history? How? Like, what does that go with? Tell me why. But don't take it for granted because we will tell our story. And we tell it, we're going to tell it fact for fact. We was from South, we didn't know rat's tail about nobody in New York. We didn't copy anybody. We didn't pattern ourselves behind anybody. Everything that we did came from the core of us being writers, cheerleaders, and just champions in our own right. So when we did it from a very sincere and genuine place. We wasn't copying nobody.
That's right. That's right. And the people that are signing on right now, I am speaking with Angie Stone. You can follow her on Instagram at the Angie Stone. You can follow me at Todd Wharton Official. We interview celebrity 5 days a week. And if you guys are on here, share this interview because Angie right now, we talked offline. We're talking real, part of my friend shit right now. And we want you guys to share this because this is a very important conversation. So Angie,
important one because hip hop.
That's right. And continuing with that, you know what's a really curious thing that's been on my mind? 2023 is going to be the 50th anniversary of hip hop, right? And most likely, I'm sure New York is going to do something big. Now, the big question is going to be, if it's the 50th anniversary of hip hop, which is to celebrate not only the people of today, but to celebrate the legends, will the 50th anniversary finally acknowledge that the Sequence was the first hip-hop group that paved the way for the MC Lights and the Salt and Peppers? That is a question I want answered because if they do a show and do not announce that, it's a farce.
Well, I'll tell you what, they've already done one. I can recall the humiliation factor that was brought up by Mona Scott, and I'm not afraid to say her name because the truth of the matter is I call a spade when I see it, okay? They did the Queens of Hip Hop or the First Ladies of Hip Hop, and they started with Salt and Pepper. We were insulted, and the day before the show, after we raised so much saying, they got us an airplane ticket, flew us out there, and right when we were about to step on the red carpet, they opened the door, let, I think, Queen Latifah, Missy Elliott, MC Light, Lil' Kim, everybody walked past us because they knew that the media would not recognize us because we were old school, and and instead of somebody saying, respect these ladies, they allowed them to bum rush. So all of the cameramen started going, it's like, hey, wait a minute, blah, blah. And I'm like, how rude can these people be? These people came 10 years after us. They only flew us out there to save face. And at the last minute, they threw something together where the two doors in the middle of the stage opened up. They allowed everybody from New York and California to come on stage. They sat sequence in the nosebleeds where you could have actually fell over.
Right.
Never acknowledged us. The sequence picture was plastered on the middle of the door when it opened. At that time, I was reduced to tears. I got up and I walked out because I could not believe you would bring us all the way here to humiliate us, but just to do enough to make yourself look good. And there was a whole station set up to interview us, and there was a guy standing there, pulled us to the side and said, how does it feel looking at this photo that they had of Salt and Pepper over there with them saying that they're the first ladies of rap? How does that make you guys feel? Of course, it makes us feel horrible because, you know, that's a blatant slap in the face. So they've not gone the distance just to humiliate us and hurt us. They have blatantly let us know you don't count. Well, I'm here to tell you that we do count. Cashbox, which was before all of y'all's time, shows that we were the first female group in the history of hip hop to make Cashbox. I'm pulling those files right now just so I can have them put up when I need them. But it does not discredit, like I said, some of the first and the greatest ladies of hip hop. I'm going to say Sha-Rock, Queen Latifah, MC Light, all of them get my kudos. However, I am not okay with them acknowledging the fact that we were responsible for single-handedly being the first female rap group with an original rap record that opened the doors for all female rappers. And I just think that they're so caught up with the first element that they're forgetting the fact element.
Yeah, and you're 100% right. And to be straight with you, everything that you're saying is on point. At this point right now with your voice, I really think with the popularity that you have, you need a kick-ass publicist because a kick-ass publicist is the one that can really take your voice to the next level. And that's what a lot of these groups have now. And sometimes it has nothing to do with per se. We all know how the business goes, right? Say this, say that, and a lot of these groups do with that, and it's politics. But if you had a kick-ass publicist, maybe you do, maybe you don't, that is willing to knock down these doors and make a stink, because those are the ones that can get your voice heard on media and social media, or get a bigger show, because my show is not the top yet. It's getting there, and I already have networks that are talking to me.
We really appreciate the platform that you're giving us. Todd, you're doing an amazing thing. And a special shout out to, believe it or not, Curtis Blow. Curtis Blow has been single-handedly, as a gentleman, acknowledging the fact that Sequence was first, and he will not allow them to just step all over the group. He was there in the beginning. And for that, brother, we love you. We respect you. We got your back. Shout out to Curtis Blow. If y'all ain't following him, you need to be, because he was the king of that. And going up against all the groups, he always reigned supreme.
Yeah, and by the way, I hope he's getting better, because we all know he had a little
He is.
and he's feeling much better. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm trying to get Curtis on the show now, because he's going to freak out.
I might get him.
I love you for that, but I'm gonna freak him out, because basketball, I know the whole song by heart, and he's gonna be like, "What?" I'll be like, "Listen, I always tell people I grew up in a predominantly white school in Long Island, and I got made fun of a lot because I love hip hop, R&B, soul. My mother, Marlene, rest in peace, is the one that introduced me to your music.
Wow.
Yeah, she was a big soul listener, artist. I did Frank Sinatra and everything, but we always had Angie Stone, and then as I was getting older, yeah, we had India. We had everybody, and people don't understand R&B and soul just does something to you. I mean, because you were originally a gospel singer, right? You were raised down
Well,
the
I was
South.
raised in church and I sang gospel. I started out singing gospel and love on the two-way street.
Yeah, on the two-way street. And I grew up watching the sunny side of the street with my boy with a little tap dancer going on there. Yeah, man, I loved it. And your father was a big influence on you, correct, growing up? Because he's the one that brought you out to a lot of gospel places. How was your relationship total growing up?
My dad's birthday, happy belated heavenly birthday, dad, was yesterday.
Yes,
My
happy
dad
birthday.
had a quartet groups always rehearsing in the house, which I attribute to my fetish for harmonies and background vocals. I'm a stickler for that, and everybody knows that. But like I said, even with doing rap music and hip hop music, however you want to call it, I was always going in my heart of hearts to be a singer, songwriter.
Hmm.
Um, Cheryl and I used to, write a lot of the cheers for our high school. We won most of the contests because we were very creative. We were pageant queens. Cheryl won Miss Creative Expression in our pageants. We ended up winning the theme for the sports aroma because it was something that we put our hearts and minds to. I mean, it's just one of those things when you are an entertainer, 9 times out of 10, you're full round robin. And I was one of those ones that wanted to do it all. So R&B music, playing the piano, wanting to play the drums, wanting to play the bass, those were things that my heart was endeared to. So I began to do those things. And when I, got to New York, I ended up touring with Lenny Kravitz playing saxophone. People were like, I didn't know you played saxophone. I'm like, yeah. So I'm a real musician at the end of the day. So people say, well, why don't you ever talk about sequence? Well, when you're my age and you move to a label and you're 30, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you.
Uh-huh.
None of the labels want you to tell your real age. I was just blessed with good skin and looking young for many years. So Clive Davis and the whole entourage kind of gag ordered me. Don't talk about this, it will date you. Did I want to talk about it? Absolutely. But if it was a cross between having a career or losing my career, it was a no-brainer. I had to keep going in order for our relevancy to count. And this is the voice, like you say, that is going to change the game.
Yep. And I 100% agree with you. And you are going to change the game. I mean, you've also very diverse. Now, I thought it was kind of funny when you broke into acting, and one of your first movies was Hot Chick.
Yeah,
When I saw this film and you were in it, I'm like, okay, Angie.
Madam Mambusa.
You don't understand. I was laughing so hard. But you know what really struck me with your acting? Because I'm a huge Broadway fan. I work with a lot of these Broadway guys. I interview them. I always talk about Broadway. I talked about Broadway with John Amos a couple weeks ago.
Yes,
Um, you did Chicago.
yes.
Amazing show. And unfortunately, I didn't get to see it. And I always ask a lot of great people, Broadway needs a heartbeat again. Now, would
Mhm.
you ever consider, because right now I know you're working on music, but would you ever consider coming back to Broadway if the role was right?
Oh yeah, I mean, acting is my passion. I just filmed a movie the other day, last week, called Brothers. I love acting. As a matter of fact, acting was my passion before singing, and poetry
Mhm.
was a passion of mine before being an artist. Artist was the last thing I wanted to be because I was more on the creative side. But acting, I was fully invested in acting school, in high school. That was what I really wanted. So my thing now is I don't want the time to pass me by and I never get to act. So I'm constantly auditioning. If you look at my IBDM, you will see
Mhm.
all of the stuff that I've acted in. It's been quite a bit.
Yeah, and I love that you're breaking into that because a lot of amazing singers break into acting. And I think it's because people don't understand that touring takes a lot out of you, right? And you
Right,
don't actually make as much as people think when you tour. Touring keeps you relevant. It's the endorsements, the signing, the little gigs here and there, which actually brings the money in flowing. I think guys like Justin Timberlake, you, and a lot of other great artists got into film because not only is it fun and it expands your talent,
right,
um, it doesn't take as much time on your body than when you're doing a full tour. Because people don't understand, like every night you got to practice, you got to
yeah,
dance, you got to learn an hour and a half. And, to all the artists out there, I know everybody wants to become this big artist, but keep in mind, it's not just about rapping, singing, whatever. It's about
right.
the dancing. It's about the choreographer. It's about keeping in shape, keeping your voice in shape. This is a 24-hour gig. And
Yes.
let me, God bless you for doing this for so long. And by the way, thank you for the great ass music that you've been bringing us this whole time.
Thank you. I've been trying to be consistent. That's not hard to do when you kind of know not to stray outside of your lane. Of course, as artists, we want to try different things when we're working on new music. You're like, all right, well, I'm gonna go left. I'm gonna go down the middle. Okay, I'm gonna go right. And then when you do an album called Full Circle, you said, okay, I done tried all that. Let me go back to what I know.
Mhm.
Normally, what ends up happening is most artists, they put their first album out. The only person that to me has been completely consistent with their approach is Anita Baker. You're gonna get the same old love every time you get Anita Baker. She coming with the come on. Everybody else kind of strays out. I strayed out. I had fun doing it, and I think in the beginning when I did the Black Diamond album, it had a lot more hip hop elements to it. And I
Right.
think that's what people kind of wanted. But as I grew up, my tolerance grew up as well. So everything didn't have to be hardcore, like bump to the ground and all this. And, I age appropriately started to treat my music like my age. And not that I can't go back to hip hop because we're working on a new song right now that they ain't ready for the sequence, just to show y'all that once a baller always a baller. You can take the basketball from Michael Jordan, but I promise you if he get back on the court, he gonna hit a three. It's just because it never goes away. It never goes away. And I just kind of want to let people know that we ain't in this to try to compete with nobody at our age. You know what I mean? We're just saying, hey, we still got it. Don't count us out. We still beautiful. We still are hungry. We still respect y'all, but don't play with us.
Yeah, and they shouldn't. And honestly, singing, as long as you keep your vocal cords strong, I mean,
Yeah.
you could do it pretty much for the rest of your life. Like you could be in an old age home at 120 years old and still be kicking it. It may not be No More Rain. It may be like at that time, like No More Minute.
Okay.
Everything's
That's
getting
real
older.
talk.
But but let's go off the subject a little because there's something I always do research on my guests on everything.
Okay.
And I was scrolling through some stuff and I saw a picture and I absolutely loved it. You were on the front lines during the Black Lives Matter movement for George
Yeah.
Floyd.
Yeah.
What was your reaction when you got the news on the news that the Floyd family so far have just settled a case where Ben Crump just got them $27 million for everything that they're going through. And we understand it will not bring back their son. But what was your feeling from that? Did you feel absolution or are you feeling, are we halfway done?
I'm always feeling we're halfway done because uh, it's so many people that lost their lives that didn't get a dime. And my thing is, money does not equate to a life. You know what I mean? The blood is sacred, and no amount of money can satisfy the loss of it. So do I feel like, okay, it was an admission of, okay, we messed up, so here, take this couple dollars and have a seat? I think there was the approach that says, okay, we messed up, y'all calm down, don't tear down the city anymore. I think that they're going extra hard because they see how when we get pissed off, how things can go. And so
Right.
now this is like closed mouth money, don't bust out no more windows, let's keep it cool. And my thing is, there are way too many. When you think about Trayvon Martin, you think about all the people that have lost their lives, Breonna Taylor, when you think about all these people that have died, if it were your child and
Mhm.
somebody else has got all this money, but nobody came back and says, Emmett Till, your family, here's a million plus 10 millions of dollars for your life loss because the crime was just as brutal or worse. So my thing is no amount of money can take away the pain. And my feeling is yes, vindication for that family, vindication for us as a people, but I want you to look behind the umbrella and see what the purpose of it really was. Was it really just closed mouth money to me? It was something to just quiet us, keep your mouth shut. At the end of the day, they're giving away trillions of dollars right now, and it's nothing but paper, but blood was lost.
Yeah, and you're 100%. And Kat Rodriguez during a speech at the Keon Howell press conference literally just quoted what you just said. She's like, everybody's crying over spilt milk, but it's starting to become spilt milk is turning into false and blood.
Yeah.
And it's just powerful what she said. And the reason why I'm bringing this up a lot, because I want people to recognize the conversation me and you are having. It's two people that are respecting one another for one reason, because you're
Yes.
a human being,
Right.
right? And that's what I think the world's missing. It's I don't understand the the attitudes and the intentions on why they're racist, why they're this, why they're that. When at the end of the day, there's no logic for the reasons why you're doing what you're doing. But the
Right.
funny thing is, there are racists that listen to your music, but then they're racist, and it's like, wait, you could rock the Angie, but then if you meet her, you don't want to be around her. You're not making sense. And
Well,
it's the whole world is hypocritical, and it doesn't make
okay.
sense.
I
That's
agree
the
with you.
way I look at it.
A lot of people can't rock with me because I rock with Jesus. And at the end of the day, I ain't mad at him. Look, that to each his own. Because you can't make me mad enough to not rock with him. So you can get with this or you can get with that. It don't matter to me because I am a Jesus fan. I am a Jesus fanatic. I am a Jesus freak. You can call me whatever you want. I am Jesus's baby. So at the end of the day, if you don't want to rock with me because who I believe in is sir, get kick rocks. That's the way I feel about it.
I love that. I'm gonna rock with you all the time. I mean, Jesus probably like, yo, Angie, we're gonna bring you up in about 200 years because you got a lot of work to do down there. But when you come up, you better bring a sequence. We're gonna let heaven know that you were the first. I don't understand why nobody's listening to us down there. That's crazy.
Yeah, but it's okay because look, we did a song, Blondie Roll called "We Just Angels Playing Hooky from Heaven," and they better realize that when you decide that you want to serve God, and I'm not trying to get preach on you, but I'm gonna tell you like this: when you decide to serve God, all that stuff really don't matter. I just want people to get out of their own way. We can get a lot further ahead as a team, as sisters, as women, as people who love the gift that we were given. We could get along a lot better if we work together and not apart. We're losing the narrative because we're fighting unnecessarily. And my thing is, we are all ladies in the same arena. Let's party.
Yes, and there are so many amazing women right
Yes,
now
yes.
in the music industry that would be kind of cool. I don't know if they have it. What if
Well,
somebody came out with creating a women's union for music?
you should do it.
I listen, I run New York City's Peace Concert.
Oh
That
Lord.
yeah, and I
Lord.
don't know if Cheryl's telling you, I'm making it my goal to bring Sequence back together and bring you guys here to New York.
Okay, well that's good. We're never apart. Even though we all
Oh, I
have our
know.
separate lives, we are always together. There's never been a replacement act, and there's never going to be nobody to replace Cheryl, Blondie, or Angie B. We are the original. We are the thoroughbred. We are the core that made it happen. So guess what? It's all or nothing with us. So that's why Angie Stone I can easily chip that down for a second. I'm Angie B today because that's who I am. I can't be anybody else.
That's right. That's right.
Mhm.
No, and I, I I would love to do what you just say. Let's do it. I really would. Listen, I'll be the consultant on that because I'm really good at consultant marketing. But I think it's time that women have unions in each industry to not only back up what you do, but support. And each
Yeah,
union to have a major publicist who
yeah,
majors be responsible for announcing certain things. I think
right.
it would be also great to have a union where you have delegates that fight for equal rights in music. What about giving musicians of women insurance?
Yeah,
Ability. What if you get pregnant and you can't perform for a while, but you can have certain insurances there that will keep you in the game?
right,
I'm
right.
only saying a lot of this to you because you're a powerful woman. You have a lot to say. And not only should the sequence be honored, but then at the end of the day, let's make it bigger. Why don't we just say sequence is one of the reasons why we need unions like this? It's
Yes.
going towards that the industry should not decide who's relevant and who's not. If
Hmm.
you're doing your damn thing and you're opening up doors, then why at the end of the day are the same doors that you open are being closed? It
Yes.
doesn't make sense. You're the ones with the key, but for some reason somebody's changing the locks. That
Hmm.
should never happen, ever.
Right.
And
I
I'm,
with
I'm
you.
just saying.
I totally agree with you. I think that we have been misplaced and disrespected for a long time, and I think we they won't allow us to walk in the room and make the necessary change that you talked about. Maybe we could go in there and raise enough sand and say, hey, look, we ain't quite senior citizens yet, but we're knocking on senior citizens' door. We need some health insurance. We need this. Why? Because we're still here and we're watching the young people come and go. So my thing is, we have to be accepted by our own in order to walk in that arena and be able to make and count as a difference.
Yes, and I agree with that totally. Another thing that a lot of people are doing from the old school to the new school, and I don't consider you old school because you've been doing this your whole life.
Yeah,
I think one of the reasons why people use the word old school, a lot of times is for people that pretty much are performing old school hits without developing new that pop, right? So you've always been building.
yeah.
I would love to see you collaborate with some of the new millennial artists. And the reason why I'm saying that is we all know social media is how you market now, right? And it's
I'm
very
already
important.
there. I am already there.
So you see what I'm saying? Because if I see you performing with somebody of a millennial, you know what's going to happen? Your following not only is huge, but now social media is going to be like, boom, right? And when that happens, you don't even have to worry about getting your own publicist to announce. You got to turn around and be like, I'm Angie Stone. That's Cheryl, and that's Blondie. We are the women of hip hop, right? You could
Yeah,
say that right on GMA because they'll co-sign it in a minute,
I'll
and
tell
the
you.
power is going to
Mm,
happen. Watch.
Music Soul Child and I won't tell you the name of the show yet, but we just filmed a show that I created that really embraces just what you said, the up and coming millennials, and it's so incredibly dope that when it comes out, people are gonna have to respect it. I'm super excited about it, along with some stuff that I'm developing with Cheryl and Blondie right now, because the reason why we stay relevant is just be a cut above the rest. Everybody has their thing going, everybody's doing their story. Don't think for 1 minute that we're sleeping now. I agree with you. We need a publicist, because what people have taken advantage of is the fact that, oh, Angie Stone has gone on to become this and become that, but they don't realize I needed to be exactly where I am today in order to lace up the bootstraps and bring sequence up to the front page. Right now, the Bible tells you that last shall be first and first shall be last. Well, we've been last for a long time. It's about to be time for us to be first. Just wait on
Mm,
it.
I love it. Yeah, I'm getting chills right now. Just thinking about it. I'm loving it. And by the way, you mentioned one of my favorite R&B brother artists, which is Musique Soulchild, because
Yeah.
I remember when his music came out, and I was just like,
Dun, yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
oh my
And, I,
God.
and if you love him, then you loved Raheem Devon's Guess Who Love You More. That took you down too. I know, because it did me the same way.
You know, Angie, if I ever come to South Carolina, I'm taking you out, girl. I don't care if you got a man or not. What your man got to
Oh,
do with
wow.
me?
Don't start. I got in trouble when I started dating a sex symbol. It got real crazy for me. So I've learned to stay back. I can't be cute and involved at the same time. They hate on. Got to just stick with Jesus, okay?
Don't
Don't do
worry,
that
don't.
when you love
No,
God.
we can stick with Jesus because I'll invite him to the dinner. I'll be like, Jesus, you want
Okay,
some?
look, now you're talking the right language.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, we always drink a glass of wine to celebrate Jesus. Damn, I'll buy a whole bottle. We'll bring it
Okay,
to the
that's
table.
what's up. That is what's up. Y'all see it, okay? Now this time my life go on a regular. I ain't did nothing that nobody else don't do, but you see him, right? I'm Todd. I'm telling him, snap your hand, behave.
I'm going to try because the great thing about being a talk show host and what I'm doing now, I'm always around great looking women, but once in a while, I get to talk to a beautiful lady. So,
Oh,
I mean,
oh, oh!
I'm just
You
saying.
came left field with that. You almost got me there.
So, you were in the studio
Yes.
today. Now, you're working on a new album for yourself. You're working on a new solo
I'm
album?
working on editing for 2 shows that I'm developing. Yesterday, I was in singing a lead for a project that I'm featured on for a UK artist called Blue Kiss. So I'm multitasking, but I'm like headfirst into developing uh, film and television right now.
Ah, okay. All right. And you're talking about television a lot. How are you liking the change?
Oh, I
Because
love it.
really, you like everything going to Netflix and Hulu like right away and not in the movie theaters?
Yes, because I love the fact that I'm getting very limited commercials and I can watch series and sit back, get some popcorn and I ain't got to worry about all the interruptions. Now, movies is good. I think it's good. We should get back to theaters because it's being sociable. It's a part of, courting and the thing that kind of breaks up the monotony from families sitting home. But if I had to say anything about, being home, this is giving us great family time.
Yeah, and I 100% agree with you. And,
Yeah.
some people are really appreciating this downtime because we always say what our parents said, not enough time in the day. And now
Mm-hmm.
people have
Mm-hmm.
so much time that they don't even want it. Me personally, I want it. I would love to see my family more, but unfortunately, my family's out in LA and upstate. But I
Really?
do love, yeah, my brother, I always talk about my brother Scott. He's the one that was one of the guys from Logitech, one of the CEOs. He did the Little Nas X video during the Super Bowl. That's my
Okay.
brother. Yeah, so but I haven't seen him in over a year and a half, and I keep telling people that if you have time now to be with your family, you live with them,
Mm-hmm.
it's a really testament of the will and the strength that you have with your family
Yes.
when you're together a lot. Because listen, we all love each other, but we can't stand each other after 24 hours. Like we need
After
a
a
break.
while, you need a break. Hi, everybody. I see so many people saying hi, Angie. I'm not being rude. If I do this, it means I just saw you say hi. I'm trying not to be rude. So,
Nah, you're not being rude. We are all saying hi to the virtual audience tonight because you
yes,
guys are seeing a one exclusive, amazing interview right now with Angie. We're talking about stuff that it should be talked about a lot more. And
yeah,
Angie, I mean, we still got about 14 minutes left. There's so much that we can talk about.
yeah.
Here's a question for you.
Okay.
Right now, talking about getting sequels the recognition that they deserve. What I've noticed with a lot of biopics, and I'm not going to single out movies, but the one thing I've noticed about a lot of these movies, about a lot of artists, is the real truth is not being spoke about in these movies. They're
Yeah.
bringing out what they think the drama of people are going to want because everybody's into the reality shows and everything like that. I
Yes.
would love to see a real story of the
Well,
sequel.
I've turned down 4 networks as a result because my stuff has to be a series sequel kind of thing because I want every stone unturned. I don't want nothing skipped. In order for you to appreciate the story, the truth has to be told, and you can't, for the sake of time. Well, we can't do that. We're gonna skip this. We're gonna skip. I'm looking for a Thornbirds moment. We need something that's gonna allow you to dig deep into it, and it's yet to be made. So, um, I'm excited about all of it. But the truth of the matter is, if it's gonna be halfway told, I'd rather it not be told at all.
Yeah,
Matter of
and I
fact,
love what you're
I think
saying.
you just do a dope book and you leave it there.
Well, maybe. I mean, if you find the right producer, director, I think it would be great. Now, you actually said something, and I'm going to bring it out now. Obviously, I think the best movie would be story about your life, but then half of the movie is about sequence because
Yeah,
sequence was a huge and building in the end stone. That's a
absolutely.
full miniseries. Now, you actually said the title, which is
What?
perfect. Every stone not unturned.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yes.
the perfect title for your biopic.
Oh wow. I like that.
I mean, think
Trade,
about it.
trademark.
That's what I'm saying. Trademark that. That would be an amazing title for it's pretty much saying we're not leaving anything out. We're talking about Angie Stone's life, but half of my career is because of these two beautiful ladies that are going to
Mm.
be in this movie, and I'm not going to leave them out of the movie.
Oh no,
I'm
no,
just
no.
saying.
First of all,
That happens a lot.
any biopic in the past that has been discussed has clearly they have to understand my beginning started with my group, the sequence. Prior to the group, I was just a little nappy-headed girl in South Carolina that was a brownie or a Girl Scout that was in talent shows, and pageant shows. But when the group got discovered, it was the beginning for all of us. After
Right.
we did our stint with Sugar Hill, we never split up. It's just that I decided to continue to branch out. But we always checked on each other. We always had each other's back. But we were growing up. We were kids. So when I left
Mhm.
home, I was still 17, turning 18. So I had to still listen to parents and make moves. So by the time I was 22 or 23, I had my child. Now the game has changed on a whole nother level for me because now I got somebody else to be responsible for. So some of the
Mhm.
decisions that were made just because I had to make them, not because I wanted to, but because I had to. I was nobody taking care of me but me. So with that being said, Cheryl and Blondie and I always, hey, y'all got food over there? Y'all good? She would sure would make sure we was okay. We would make sure that she was okay and vice versa. Even to the day, we still cover each other that way as much as we can. But I do think that people look at, well, how you gonna do an Angie Stone story without the sequence? I
Right.
couldn't do an Angie Stone story without telling my humble beginnings. I got 35 more years in the game after the sequence that we can talk about. So my thing is, it opens up that window for us to have the kind of biopic that will cover major ground from hip hop to hooray.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I mean, your biopic, first of all, is going to hit women in a whole new level. I
Mhm.
grew up because of my mother watching Lifetime. Um, Lifetime would be one of the great networks, but at the end of the day, you need a good producer to really
Yeah,
produce the movie
I would
that
have to
you
be.
want.
I'm scheduled with Lifetime because they're just catering to females.
That's
But
why I'm saying, yeah,
yeah, and that would be okay. But this has to cater to men as well because they need to see that in a male-dominated industry, we kick the walls down.
that's right.
Okay. When Sylvia Robinson single-handedly, and I have to give her credit, came in and everybody was trying. People don't know that Russell Simmons learned from Sylvia Robinson. Everything that Sylvia didn't do, Russell learned, and he took everything and broadened his horizon. So with every generation, it got better and better. But you had to have your frontline people. She was the queen of the game. I don't care how you slice it. I don't care what people say about it. I don't care how they shape her up. If it were not for her making the move to say, okay, Joe, we're going to take this outside of Englewood, New Jersey. We're going to
Right.
go beyond and abroad. Bye, y'all. It happened. You cannot take that away from her
Right.
because every king or man that had the ability to do that, they weren't brilliant enough in the mind to say, okay, this doesn't have to just be in New York and Connecticut. This
That's right.
needs to go here, there, and everywhere. They weren't smart enough to do that. And you can't hate the player. You got to hate the game.
Yeah, and you're 100% right. I'll be honest with you, I love the game, and I think the only people that hate the game are the ones that never ride the game and they end up on the sidelines because their
Yeah,
ego gets in the way of their career. So while
yes.
I'm out in left field playing the game, they're on the side holding my water because I'm doing the right thing and they're doing the wrong thing. That's what happens with a lot of people. And at the end of the day, kings cannot make decisions without a strong queen. And I'm just going to throw that
Okay.
out.
You're
And that's
absolutely
the truth.
right. And,
That is the
and
truth.
hmm And the thing
And
about hip hop and Miss Robinson and Sugar Hill Records, there's a lot of people that have a lot of things to say about it, but that's not my story. At the end of the day, a lot of decisions that were made when you're kids, your parents are supposed to be in the driver's seat of the choices that are made. So you can't get mad, like I said, at the culprit because those are far-fetched dreams. It's like I always reference, I tell my youngsters or my mentees, everybody can touch their dream. But you have to be smarter than a fifth grader. Once you get inside your dream, you have to navigate the beginning, the middle, and the end. And I think Miss Robinson them kept caught a bum rap every time it came out. Oh, they cheating all these people. Oh, they doing this. Nobody can say that because you know what? Everybody had the same opportunity and everybody had the same out. If you wasn't happy, you could leave. And at the end of the day, if you felt you were getting cheated, that's why you get attorneys. So I am partial to judging what they did. I'm not putting them on a pedestal. I'm not saying they didn't do their thing, but I believe in the promise of God the just will pay. And so it's not my battle to fight. I'm not here to dish dirt on the Holy Grail, so to speak. I can't do that because, what she did for the culture is the reason why everybody is out now. I'm talking about all the LL Cool J's. I'm talking about the Run DMCs. I'm talking about, everybody that you name that got out of New York, that got out of the Tri-City area. Y'all can single-handedly clap your hands for the woman who was brilliant enough to allow that door to open for the world to see what was brewing in the city. And you can't be mad at that. So, does it make everything they did right? No. But it don't make everything they did wrong either.
I'm going to tell you something. I think on that, we are going to definitely wrap it up on that. That was an amazing end to this. First of all, Angie, I definitely want to have you back because we can talk for hours.
Absolutely.
There's so much we want to talk about. I think it would be really cool if we bring the sequence all back together on
Yes.
one interview. I got Blondie coming up. You could talk to her about that, or we could do another one. But first of all, thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for
You're welcome.
being on FaceTime with Todd Wharton. I really appreciate you. I'm honored to have you. Your music is legendary. The sequence is legendary. And one day they will be known and respected as the group of the original women of hip hop. And I see that coming very soon.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Guys, if you don't know, you can follow Miss Stone at the Angie Stone on Instagram. You can follow me at Todd Wharton Official. We interview celebrities of all industries 5 days a week. And to give you guys an idea of what's coming up next week, we have Rockness Monster on Monday. I got Mark John Jeffries on Tuesday, Young Dirty Bastard on Wednesday. We got Hector Macho Camacho. He's fighting Hector Chavez. So we got him Thursday. And because it's Ladies Month, we're going to wrap up the end of the month with Tara Wallace from Love and Hip Hop. So, guys,
Absolutely.
thank you for watching the show. It's an honor to have Angie on tonight. And Angie, as I always tell everybody, if you're not living a passionate life, then whose life are you living? Guys, have a great weekend. I'll see you soon.
All right, Todd. Be blessed. Have an awesome weekend, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.